Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. And today in this video we are going to take a look at the shader rebuild, also we call the beauty rebuild inside Nuke. So as you can see, I have this car path and we are going to rebuild this entire CG shader. I already rebuilt the shader using these three types of shader rebuild. So as you can see, in the first one we are only using the plus operation, and in the second one we are using plus and multiply, and in the third one we are using plus, divide and multiply. First of all, why we are building this shader rebuild instead of directly using this CG in our plate, and the second question is why we are using why we have these three types of shader rebuild. What's the advantage of using plus, and what's the advantage of this plus multiply, and what is the advantage of this thing, and why we are doing this. So we will cover all these questions and we will take a look the advantage of all these three types of shader rebuild. So let's get started. So as you can see, first of all, I already shared this Ferrari car project file. So if you don't know, I will reshare again in this in the video description. I already share in my Discord server, so if you don't know, you can check that out. I also built this basic AB comp. So what you have to do, you have to do a shader rebuild, then you can grade AOVs to match with your plate. So this is the plate, and this is the raw CG look like. You have to add shadow and match the color and everything to this back plate. So we will going to take a look how to build this first pipe, the shader rebuild, because we have this multipass EXR. So we have to rebuild this entire beauty with all those specular, color and all those passes. First of all, if I click here, first of all, let's see how many passes we have. So just add layer contact sheet, and as you can see, so this car render I rendered myself using Redshift render, and the Redshift is giving us all passes that you can imagine Redshift can give us, but I rendered what I need. So I rendered all these passes: the diffuse lighting, specular lighting, refraction, refraction filter, and reflection filter, and reflection, diffuse filter, GI, refraction raw, reflection raw, okay, and GI raw, diffuse lighting raw, and we have this AO pass, okay, and we have a depth and the normal, the position, and the puzzle mat. Basically we have ID mats for each pass, each of the thing. ID mat, this one also ID mat, this is another ID mat, this is another ID mat, and this is the shadow mat. Okay, so we have every pass that we need in this one, and we will also going to take a look why we have this raw passes here. As you can see, we have this GI raw, reflection raw, all that things, and we also have this filter, and this diffuse filter, all that stuff. As you can see in the plus one, what we are going to use. So in the plus one, it's very simple. You just need to use light passes. So as you can see, what I mean by it is just basic passes. Just like we have this diffuse lighting, it just contain the light direction in this entire scene. It contain all the lights and with the object color itself. So as you can see the red color, and you can see the light direction. We see the shadow here. We have this. We have a GI. So it's basically a bounce light. So the GI also contain the car color and the light direction, light bounces. We are using plus because in CG rebuild we always have to use plus operation. We don't need to do any screen or anything like that. So as you can see, when I merge, it will look like this. Okay, the next pass is we have a reflection. So we have this reflection, refraction, and we have this specular. So we have all the specular, direct, indirect, everything. So we just plus everything together, and in the end, if I compare with beauty, we have 1-to-1 result. As you can see, I'm doing 1-to-1, and it's matching pixel to pixel. We have there are some issue with the viewer, but as you can see, it's totally matching. So this is very basic stuff, basic CG rebuild you can imagine. So it's very basic. What is the advantage of this thing is you can set up very quickly, and if you don't want to do in-depth matching and all that stuff, it's very good to go. But if you want to tweak color separately, I mean in this diffuse lighting we have a light direction also, but we also have color of this car, I mean the red color. So if you just want to affect the color, so what you have to do, you don't have any control. So in CG, in general, in comping in general, you need more control as much as you can. So you need control on every passes inside your comp workflow. What I mean by that, if I just add a grid and if I view it here, if I do this, as you can see, it's not properly affected. I'm just changing the this thing. I'm changing the color of this red to this, but I'm also affecting the light direction, as you can see. But I want to separate a light and the color. I want to separate them out. So this setup is not gonna help us. We need to do some different maths to get the separation. So as you can see in this plus multiply, what I have here, so as I show you, we have this passes called filter passes. As you can see, we have these filter passes. So there is a big advantage of using them. What is the filter passes? Basically, it's called raw color pass. We are using a 3D software. We are basically applying any image texture to a material, and then that material we applying on an object. So that texture is like this. So we call diffuse color. In Redshift, it's called diffuse filter. So it's the same thing. Diffuse filter, filter or color, it's the same thing. So it's a diffuse color, you can also call. So we have this diffuse filter, and in this one we only see the color. There is no shadow, there is no light, nothing, only the color information and the texture. See, I use this Ferrari logo, that's why I can only see this logo, nothing else, no specular, nothing, only the color. We have this diffuse lighting. So if I view this, so this contains only the light direction, only the lighting. As you can see, there is no color here, only the light direction. You can see the shadow here and the light here, nothing, as you no specular, nothing, only the raw diffuse lighting. So if we combine these two together now, what we get? We will get diffuse lighting, just like we are using here now. So this is the combined pass, and this is the separate two things, and we are combining here with multiply. So that's why we are using here multiply to combine all these together. So now we are separate, we have separate options here. As you can see, this thing we are combining here. If I add one grades, so we can control each pass individually. As you can see, we have more control here. Change, as you can see, now technically I'm only adjusting the light. The car color is remaining the same, as you can see, and is doing proper job. So if I add a warm color, maybe cool color, so as you can see, it's properly behaving. So, and same here, if I want to change the car color itself, so let's see, if I add a U shift just to show you, as you can see, I changed the car color, but the light, it remains same. As you can see, I only change the car color from red to green. So that is the advantage of using raw passes. Raw passes contain only the light. There is no color information, there is no texture information. So that is the idea of using these raw passes. So in the Redshift, it's called raw. Some other renders, it may call different, but you just need to know when to use and where to use these things. If you see something like this, you have to know this is a raw pass. Okay, the similar stuff here, we have a GI raw, and if you come here, just like in the diffuse, we contain the light direction, light, and the color. So in the GI, we contain the bounce light and we contain the color. So what does that mean? We have to use a diffuse filter again, and the GI raw we have to multiply, then we get this what we have here in the GI. See, the GI and this combined GI same, because we have GI raw, this contain only the bounce light, no color. So as you can see, in the car we have no color, but in the ground we have, because it's a bounce light. And here we are combining, we are getting exactly the same result, and then we are plussing. Make sure you always have to plus every pass in the end. As you can see, in the end merge, I'm plussing everything. Yeah, see, I think I forgot to plus this thing, so make sure you do a plus here and plus 4 here. So it's technically and mathematically correct to do a plus operation. Don't do any other operation. The similar stuff here, the reflection filter, so it's the same, just a color, there is no reflection, and we have reflection raw. So as you can see, it's only contain the reflection, and if I combine them together, you can see the reflection here and the color from here. Now you can see all this, and then we are merging here. Okay, and the same stuff, refraction. So the refraction is this refraction filter, and we have refraction raw. We are combining them together. It's not gonna give you a big effect. As you can see, if I view from here and refraction, so it's not the big thing. As you can see, if I view from this refraction raw and the refraction filter, I mean the final one. As you can see, it's very subtle change, but this is mathematically correct. You have to do this multiply thing, and then we can merge it here. And in the end, as you can see, I have this specular thing, but I don't have anything. I just have the specular lighting. So in the next one, we will see what to do with this specular thing. We don't have a specular raw specular thing. So what I did, I just directly merge this, and if I view from this to beauty, they are matching 1 to 1 again. This is a second method of shader rebuild. So in this one, you have more control on the color side of the object and the light side of the object. As you can see, you have separate control for each of them. Okay, now the last one. So this one we are using, just like in the end we are using plus, but we are also using the divide and multiply. So why we are using this one? Let's see. Sometimes you don't have these things, what you call see, if I view it here, like sometimes you don't have diffuse lighting raw. In this one I have just diffuse filter, and in this one we have a diffuse lighting, but I need raw passes. So in some renders you don't have option that, so, or maybe you don't get it from the lighting. So this is the raw lighting. If you don't have access, you can make it if you have a certain passes, just like you need a diffuse color and you need a light diffuse lighting. So we just need to do a divide, and this is our diffuse lighting raw. So then we are doing divide, and then we are doing a multiply. If I add a dot, so here we have a diffuse lighting only, and here we have a diffuse color like diffuse filter. We are multiplying, we are getting diffuse lighting again. So as you can see, from here to here it's same, just like I said, we have here. And if I do these things here, so just like we have diffuse lighting raw, we can change the light here pretty easily. So in this divide multiply thing, we are basically recreating the pass that we need. So we are recreating the raw passes basically. So that is the whole idea of using divide and multiply thing. So here again GI and diffuse filter. So if I divide them, we get GI raw, and then using this GI raw and this diffuse color or diffuse filter, we are just multiplying, we getting diffuse GI, proper GI, as you can see. But we break this to get a GI raw, and then we are plusing this one, so we get GI raw, and the diffuse filter we are multiplying them to get the GI pass. So and then we are just plusing them. So in the end, if I show you here, in the end, if I add a dot here and add a dot here, so here what we have a GI, and here what we have a diffuse lighting, and we just plusing, just like in the top we have a GI and we have diffuse lighting, we are just plusing. Here we break these things a lot to get more control basically. So here we have if I add a dot here, so here we have a GI raw, sorry, here we have a lighting raw, and here we have a diffuse lighting, and here we have a GI raw, and here we have the GI only. So we are breaking things, so we can do a correction here, and then here we can do separate thing. So that's the advantage. So that is the whole idea of using divide multiply. Similarly here also reflection and the reflection filter, but we need reflection raw. So we are doing divide, so we get only the reflection without color, and here is the color, so we just multiply, so we added a color back. So if you don't have that raw passes, you can create inside Nuke if you have a certain passes, just like I have here. So reflection, so refraction filter, just do a divide and then multiply. Here it's not that much effective, but I just want to show you the workflow. And here is the thing, the specular lighting. I'm using the diffuse lighting here to do a from operation to remove this color in this specular, and then I'm doing a plus, so I get what I have here to here. So I have separate control over here. So if I view here only specular, we have a color here. I think if I do this, let me check, I don't know, I'm just checking, just using a diffuse filter and doing a from and doing this. Yeah, see this thing also working. I don't know if this is correct or not, but I just want to show you the math. So let's see if let's see if this is working or not. I don't know about this specular thing because I don't have that specular raw or specular filter, so I'm just trying with this thing. So let's go here final, and if I change the hue, so the color of this car should change, but not the specular. Yeah, as you can see, it's working. So if I zoom in, you can see the specular is same, only the car color is changing. So I think it's working. So if I change this thing to diffuse lighting, yeah, I think this is much better. I think diffuse lighting is giving us proper result, I guess. Yeah, I'm only changing the hue, I'm not doing anything extra crazy thing. So we separate this thing and this thing, and if I add a grade here, yeah, see, this thing is break now because need to off this because we are using from, so we have some negative value, as you can see. So if I view it here, and yeah, this thing is not gonna work because we need a proper passes, but I just want to show you. So we can remove this thing, we can just leave it like this. We need a specular direct, specular indirect, or we need a specular like specular filter like this. We have refraction, so we can use that. In the end, we are plussing everything, and as you can see, this thing and this thing is matching. So this is the way you can do your CG rebuild. It's all about getting more control. So this thing, you have very basic control over your AOVs, and this thing have more control, as you can see, but the third one is have a lot more control. So you basically have a lot more flexibility when you matching or when you rebuilding your shader. But the question comes in the mind, why we are rebuilding the shader, why we are not just using this beauty layer on our plate directly, just like I have here. So as you can see, it's not gonna match. So you may think, let's add a grade here and we can try to match like this, but it's very hard to do that because we need to affect all individual passes separately, just like the specular and the color and the GI and all that stuff. Another question comes in your mind, then why we are not doing all these things inside 3D software while we are rendering, and if you get any correction, then you can do certain changes in the 3D render itself. It's totally doable, we can do that, but the thing is, if you do any small changes, like if I reduce some specular, if I reduce this green color, if I shift this green color a little bit, we have to render everything again full frame. So that will cost a lot of time and a lot of computer power, and it's not a very good idea to do any small changes and render entire thing again in your 3D render. It will take a lot of time. So that's why we are doing this CG rebuild, so we can on the fly we can do any changes that we want. Just like if I do any changes here, it will affect in the end pipe. So that is the idea, as you can see. So this change, if I want to do in a 3D package, I can do easily, there is no question about that, but I have to render everything again, and it will take a same amount of time. It will take a lot of time, so it's not practical at all to do this type of small changes in your 3D software. So it's good to do in Nuke, and best way to do in Nuke, just rebuild your shader like this and do your comp after that. This is the one example. If I want to show you this another, so this is the scene which I worked in my past tutorial. If you have not checked, I will put a link so you can check that out. So as you can see in this one, we have some numbers of passes, as you can see here. So but I want to show you something. So if I come here, so I build the entire shader here same as we have, but in this one we have to check what passes we have. So we have diffuse direct, diffuse indirect, you have indirect, I think this one is specular or something, and we have this one is a reflection or something, I don't know, it's called only indirect. We have specular direct, specular indirect, and we have shadow matte. So ignore the shadow matte, I just turn off, just view it from here, and if I check from beauty, as you can see, it's not matching, some passes are missing. So in that case, what you can do one trick, I already did that. You can plus every passes, as you can see I added an input, but you have to connect it from the top only, okay, because in the below I added a correction. So just need to connect all these things, and still it will not gonna match from here to here. So what you have to do, you can do a from operation to get what is the left behind, I mean what is the difference between this one and this one. So it will show me this is the missing passes that we need, and it's not in the CG rebuild. It is there in the beauty, but it's not in the CG rebuild. So we can do a from operation, and then we can add entire thing plus. If I do that, then it will gonna match 1 to 1. As you can see, now it's totally matching 1 to 1 with the beauty. So this is a little small hack. Sometimes it will give you some weird result, so make sure you do it properly. I mean, try to avoid these things. So if you don't have passes, just look at the passes what you have. But this is the proper workflow of doing a CG rebuild. So, and this is, I just want to show you. If you want to see the full breakdown tutorial of these things, I already posted, so I will provide the link so you can check that out. And make sure you can download this one. So if you want to do a practice, I provided plate, EXR and the ref. So this is what I comp, as you can see, and this is a slab comp, and this is what I did. So as you can see, in my comp one, it's not perfect, so it's have own mistakes. So the first thing is check the shadow is not correct. In this one, shadow is long and soft and blue. In my one, the shadow is not that much long and not the soft and not even blue. It's very hard and it's very look cut out, as you can see. So we have to do some changes, and we have to make manual shadow, because I think in the render I forgot to add context. See, we even don't have a context shadow here. So we have to take care of all these things in comp. Otherwise everything I have, all the passes, whatever you need to do a CG rebuild. So from here to here, so this is the way you can go. And we also provided this lens distortion also, so you can check that out, entire script. I hope you find this is useful. I will share this to my Patreon, and it's very easy to build. Just check the tutorial again if you are missing anything. So it's very easy. I provided all the passes because I know what passes I need to do to make a proper CG rebuild. That's why I rendered this one myself. So if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment, and we will see you in a very next one. Have a great day.